How you doing? So this is actually the 25th lesson, so good stuff. Um, in the prior lesson, I talked about how I've started to apply some of the things I've learned from this experiment with other campaigns, and I think I'm pretty sure I walked through what I'm doing in one of those cases where I'm running a reach campaign to promote blog posts. And more than likely, I've already changed my course from what I showed you then. Because I believe I initially was showing it to a much smaller group than I am now, and it's one of those things that and we've talked about this, the relationship between CPM and and the audience size can really be too costly. But I'm seeing some good results, and the truth is that the results I'm seeing now are arguably better than when I was optimizing for quality traffic. That's a whole other conversation how I did that, but it was basically a conversions campaign where the conversion was spending 60 seconds or more on a page of my website, basically, and using custom events. And I've gone back and I've compared my results, and I'm also actually seeing better results from this. So let's kind of walk through what I'm doing, how it's different from what I showed you initially, and what kind of results I'm seeing. I'm not even saying these are earth shattering. I think this is what I'm seeing so far. There's something to be learned from it, and I can probably make the results better. All right, so let's jump in. So, first of all, yeah, you'll recall I started with, I was just going to reach the top 5% so that the people, it's an audience you can create in Facebook of the people who spent the most time in your website, top 5% over the last 180 days. And I was going to set a frequency cap of 1 in 15 and use newsfeed only. But I was getting no reach. And also the CPM was pretty high. And, not that I ran it for very long, it might have been like a day plus. But I was like, you know what, let's adjust this. So what I did was I created a different ad set for like numerous ways of targeting people based on engagement. So my highest engaged audience, what would that be? And so let's walk through what this ad set looks like. So, well, first of all, the frequency cap is 3 impressions every 15 days. So basically, I'm fine with hitting the same people up to 3 times in 15 days. $20 daily budget right now. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm hitting that at the moment. And a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, you know what? This may be the one I'd already switched to at that time. But any purchase event over the last 180 days, viewed at least 5 pages, 180 days, scroll depth 5 plus times. So that's a 70% scroll depth, 180 days. Time on page event, 5 plus times. So 60 seconds each time, 180 days. Top 5%, that one that I was originally targeting, 180 days. And I've got, I talked about this before. And I've got a tagging system in Infusionsoft where every time, or capturing the people who are most engaged. And I'm doing this worldwide, and I know I've talked about that before too. The reason for that is I know if I were to optimize for traffic, for example, Facebook would just keep hitting the same people in the cheapest countries over and over and over and over. I think this is a solution to, I don't necessarily want to avoid people in other countries besides US, Canada, Australia, UK. I just don't want Facebook to focus only on them. So look, if you're one of the most highly engaged people on my website, I would like to reach you. But I want to make sure I reach other people as well who are highly engaged, not just people in, let's say, India. Nothing against India, but that's exactly where Facebook would focus if I didn't have some kind of constraints. So in terms of placements, all we're doing here is newsfeed. And as you can see down here, I've got a whole bunch of different blog posts. Like every time I publish a new blog post, I throw it into this rotation so Facebook can show it. So that's kind of the beauty of this too. You're not, even if I reach you 3 times in 15 days because of the frequency cap, it could be any one of these blog posts, and I'll keep updating them. But the main thing here is results. So I've reached 6,000 people, which, yeah, I remember talking about this now. You recall I was looking at something in the neighborhood of 5,000 people. So I think we might be in that kind of saturation range, but maybe there are 10,000-ish people in this. And the CPM's not terrible. Actually, it's pretty good at about $14. And that frequency, I am reaching people 2 times plus. Link clicks aren't bad. So the click-through rate I'm getting, 4%, pretty darn good. And that it was 6%, but again, that audience was just way too small. And all these are outbound, so they're not all resulting in landing page views. But this is why it's really important to create custom events that measure, when you do scroll 70% or spend at least 60 seconds on a page, because this is what I'm also getting. Now, keep in mind, this isn't just from these visits. It's after they clicked on this ad, they also executed these 60-second time on page events 441 times. Obviously, that's more than 170 people, more than the people who actually clicked, because we're getting multiple visits, multiple pages they're looking at. Scroll depth 174, which is right in line with the landing page views. And then people who executed both, we've got 133 types of those events. Even got some registrations out of it too. So I talk about accidental conversions sometimes, and that's helpful. No purchases yet, but this is still new. I think we're going to see that. So cost per click, 85 cents. But quality is the important part here. Again, landing page view, not a great cost per landing page view, but when we're getting that many time on page events, where it's 50 cents per time and page event, $1.26 per 70% scroll, suddenly we're looking at something here that could be pretty useful, pretty valuable. So, I may still tweak this a bit, whether that's a matter of increasing the audience size, I don't think I need to increase the budget, because at 209, I'd have to go back and see if I'm reaching everybody or not. Because I want, it's all about pacing, right? I want to show you 3 different blog posts in an ads during the 15 days, 3 of them within your newsfeed. And I want to reach everybody within that audience at least once. That most highly engaged audience at least once. So it's all about strategizing this, knowing that if it's super small, it's probably gonna be cost prohibitive. If it's too big, it's gonna be too expensive to try to reach them all. And so I'm trying to find this happy medium, this balance, and I think we're getting there. I think we're getting close. I think the key will be, can we start getting registrations and purchases out of this too? That could be the kicker. So I thought this was interesting. This is the kind of stuff I'm looking at all the time. I'm like, how can I do things differently that I haven't otherwise been doing them, that maybe Facebook didn't intend we do them? This is one of the things I'm experimenting with. But hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you again soon.